Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors, the pod that puts a fight in fright. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Derek.
I'm Shelly.
And we are Little Bracket of Horrors. And today we're talking about X.
Just X.
Just X. Just one letter. One singular letter. But yeah, before we get into that, let's play some catch up. You watch anything scary or anything scary happen, Shell?
Not that I can recall. My brain's been kind of mush lately.
Yeah, very busy.
Very, very busy. I did watch... Did we talk about Alien Romulus?
No, we didn't.
I watched that.
As did I.
It was not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I think it was a decent insert into the Alien franchise.
I'd agree. Yeah.
But I had, some qualms, but not all in all. It was not bad. And I did watch Pearl.
Oh, you did watch. I was curious if you did watch.
After X.
Okay,
and
cool.
I started Maxine, but I'm not very far in it. But yeah, that's watching wise. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've watched anything else. Oh, you know what? I lied. I binged all the Mike Flanagan series.
Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah, so I've seen Haunting a Hill House 1, but I could never get through 2.
Yeah, the Blind Manor.
Manor.
Yes.
I finally bared down and got through 2. It was okay. It was
good.
no 1, so it was not anything to write home about. But then I went in and watched Black Mass, which was amazing.
Okay.
I really loved Black Mass. Different, not a ghost story this time. It was really good. I like some of the actors they drawed in. I think Mike Flanagan needs to give Henry Thomas a break, but I don't know if that will ever happen. But so Black Mass, really good. Watched Midnight Club, which is the teen scary story one. Bunch of terminally ill teens are in this hospice house that Heather Langenkamp runs.
Perfect.
And they have a midnight club where they tell stories that they've made up.
Oh, that sounds.
But they
fun.
show you the stories, and the kids that are the terminally ill kids are the actors in the stories too. So it was really cool.
Neat.
But it was cliffhanger, and I think they're getting a season 2. Hopefully, because I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
And then I watched The Fall of the House of Usher.
So yeah, I think that sounds like a completed binge.
Yeah, and
I
I guess Fall of the House of Usher is okay.
Okay.
A lot of people I feel like love it.
Yeah.
I liked Black Mass better than Fall of the House of Usher. It just was weird, and Henry Thomas had a ponytail, and it bothered me. But yeah, so that's what I've been watching a lot of lately.
Nice. That's good.
And, but I do it at work a lot, but
yeah,
that's how I get all my binging in.
Well, and your doggy just being an absolute star on the stage.
Trying.
Yeah, that's
she's
so
trying.
cool.
Yeah,
she's been gracing the stage.
Yeah, she's Toto in The Wizard of Oz.
So cool.
And it's been going very well considering she's not trained. Everybody thinks she is. No. I don't.
Wow.
You try to train that dog, but
really?
yeah. Well, we had one scary moment the first night they turned off the house lights.
Oh yes.
She's got a Toto. It's no spoiler. You've seen The Wizard of Oz. Reveals the great and powerful Oz. Pulls the curtain back. Well, Chuleta obviously doesn't pull the curtain back, but what we are asked of her is to at least run across the stage. So she was going to run across the stage, and she went right for the front of the stage because it was dark for the first time, and I don't think she could see where she was going. And everybody went, Toto! And she looked at them like, what? Who the fuck is Toto?
Who are you talking to?
Ran the rest of the way. So.
Okay.
But other than that, we've
averted,
been good. Yeah, she's been doing well.
That's good. It's great to hear. It's been great to see the videos you've been posting and stuff on stage with the lights and all that.
She's doing well.
Yeah. Proud mama moment.
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
good.
I don't have kids. That's what I have.
Yeah, well, love is love, you know?
Yeah, right. You're funny. Love is love.
So for me, yeah, same thing. Life's been busy. Ian's just soccer every day, soccer on the weekends and stuff. And And he actually just scored his first goal,
I know,
which was a big milestone
very
for him.
exciting.
He's mainly in the goal, playing goalie, but coach has been putting him out a little bit on the field, and he finally got one in the back of the net, and he was ecstatic, and we were proud of him and all that positive stuff.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
But so after the last episode that we recorded a while back, we went to see Heretic together.
Oh, have we not talked about that?
We have not talked about it yet. So that was a fun outing.
Yeah,
We went to the theaters afterwards, and it was something different. If you are into religious horror and you like digging in and them talking about the differences, and I mean, Hugh Grant's character goes into like layers and layers of it.
Oh my gosh, he just monologues and monologues. The majority of the dialogue is Hugh Grant talking in that movie. But it wasn't bad. I wouldn't call it necessarily too scary. They tried to get you on a couple little jump scares.
Yeah, there were a couple moments.
And it wasn't really clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you to decide what was true and what wasn't true. But
but I like the question.
Yeah.
I like the conversation.
I mean, and it's interesting because like I know you're an atheist and I have some kind of belief, but it's it definitely digs deep into either side, to be completely honest, because I don't know, I try to avoid spoilers. It is a fairly new movie, but it's almost like, is the mass information on religion just lack of religion in itself kind of thing. So made you question a lot of shit.
It did, and it delved into the history of it all and how they parallel each other. So which is the one true? So it was fun. It was a good watch, and it was a nice hangout.
Yeah,
so. But I just watched last weekend, Smile 2.
Oh, okay.
And we covered it first season of the podcast.
Smile 1.
Yeah. So I was a little nervous going into it because I was such a huge fan of the first one. So I was nervous that maybe Parker Finn was going to fall into like the same tropes of what he set up with the first one. And I got to say, I mean, everything works the same. The mechanics of it is still the same, but we really got some different types of scares. And he didn't try to build too much off of the Kyle Gallner character. I mean, he was in it and a part of it, but the story continues on and goes a completely different direction with this pop star that's now infected. So a lot of cool aspects with that now being part of it. So I was pleasantly surprised because I was thinking we were going to get the same stuff we got with the first one, but I think Parker Finn did a really good job. So Smile 2, totally worth it. If you're into the first one, I think you'll enjoy the second one as well.
A lot of people have said they liked the second one better because they are, I think, as we were too, very disappointed by the demon monster to the very end. And it was just like, what did you do? And from what I've heard, is Smile 2 kind of has a little redeeming essence of it.
Yeah. We see a different type of setup. Yeah.
Which is I guess a breath of fresh air to learn that people recognize that maybe something didn't work the first time. Let's not do that again. But we can still make this sequel. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. So, I still have to see that.
It's on. Is it on Paramount? It's on Paramount.
Oh, okay.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna make sure because I have a password. If you don't,
no,
I have all your passwords, everything else, so I might as well get one out.
I have it.
All right, perfect. So I think that brings us to let's start talking about X.
All right.
Ready? All right.
Ready.
So first segment is Dig Up the Bones. And this is where I introduce the movie and give a brief summary. X is a 2022 American slasher film. Directed, written, and produced by Ty West. Other credits include Pearl, House of the Devil, and a film we covered during our first season, The Innkeepers. Music by Tyler Bates and Chelsea Wolfe. Other credits include, for Tyler, is John Wick Chapter 4, Deadpool 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then credits for Chelsea include Lone, Below Her Mouth, and Maxine. All right, cinematography by Elliot Rocket. Other credits include The House of the Devil, Pearl, and again, The Innkeepers. Special effects by Weta Workshop, which was founded by Richard Taylor, who did the special effects on the one and only Brain Dead / Dead Alive. Production companies, A24, Little Lamb, and Mad Solar Productions. Distributed by A24. Sequels, prequels, we have a prequel that also came out in 2022 called Pearl, and then just this year, Maxine has dropped. So a couple extra movies to check out. Budget $1 million. And then at the box office, $15.1 million. Rotten Tomato score, 94% on the tomato meter and 76% on the audience popcorn meter. Getting to our cast, here we are. Starring Mia Goth as Maxine/Pearl. Other credits include Pearl, the Suspiria remake in 2018, and Infinity Pool. Jenna Ortega as Lorraine. Other credits include Scream, Wednesday, Beetlejuice, and perhaps her greatest work, Colgate Kids present No More Nasties, where young Jenna Ortega explains how to brush your teeth. Brittany Snow as Bobby Lynn. Other credits include the 2008 remake of Prom Night, Hairspray, and Pitch Perfect. Scott Mescudi as Jackson. Other credits include Silent Night, Don't Look Up, and Need for Speed. Next up, we have Martin Henderson as Wayne. Other credits include Smoking Aces, Torque, and The Ring. Owen Campbell as RJ. Other credits include Super Dark Time, My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, and surprisingly, he served as a puppeteer on Crank Yankers for 20 episodes. Last up is Stephen Ure as Howard. Other credits include the Lord of the Rings movies, Ash vs. Evil Dead, and a fan-submitted movie to the podcast from Roger R., Deathgasm. So X. In 1979 in rural Texas, Wayne and RJ head to a secluded farmhouse with a van full of talent to film a pornographic film. Their elderly hosts soon become aware, and their titillation turns to bloodlust as a crew scrambles for their lives. So that is X. Shelley, initial thoughts on landing on it?
Yeah, I was aware when it came out. I never got to see it, so this was a first watch for me. It was definitely something I was sort of interested in, but then just got behind in the times. It came out.
It's tough. Yeah.
When I don't know. It's still hard to get back to the theater these days, it seems, because everything's so much is streaming. So, but yeah, no, I was excited to at least finally catch it out.
Yeah, catch it. However you want it.
I was excited to finally watch it.
Yeah.
And the completest I am, I will finish the trilogy.
Yes.
So, it is, I will say, very interesting. I watched X last night, and then I watched it today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned Pearl on immediately after. And I think that's the best way to watch it.
I agree.
I think you'll like Pearl more.
If you have the context of where she is, where she
Right.
ends up, you will love her that much more.
So, because I've heard people think, I don't know about you, but Pearl is the least favorite of the trilogy.
Not for me.
No?
No.
But watching X, I mean, I'm not done with Maxine yet, so I don't know. Oh, maybe you didn't like Maxine as much.
Maxine, I liked. I wasn't a fan of the finish.
Okay. I'm very
the end
freshly into it.
The end was, it made sense. It, like, the dots were connected, but there was just something about it that was off for me.
But to be able to, watch X and then watch Pearl immediately after and tie all the things that they say in X to Pearl.
Yeah.
Which I was talking to a friend, and they're like, you don't necessarily need to watch Pearl to watch X. And you don't.
Mm-mm.
But if you've never seen them, I would recommend watching Pearl first. And I didn't. But today I watched it after my second X watch. So, I had everything, thoroughly in my mind.
Yes.
And it was easier to pick up on the Pearl things. But I think if you watch Pearl first and then watch X, you're going to be like, it connects so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but, yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
That's awesome. I was, like I said, I was curious if you checked out Pearl yet, because I love Pearl. Of the trilogy, Pearl's my favorite. But yeah, when I think we saw the trailer for my background with X. I think we saw the trailer when we went to see Studio 666.
Oh, possibly.
I think it was our first podcast, and Matt was there.
Yeah,
obviously.
and I feel like we were all like, ooh, a new A24 film. Because
Yes.
they did that Gone with the Wind type of trailer for it.
Exactly, yeah. And, I remember you and I looking at each other, and I think we were like, dude, it looks like Texas Chainsaw ripoff. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, it took me a while, but I eventually saw it at the end of 2022, and I watched it and Pearl back to back. And to be honest, sort of like what you were saying, I think the two are a great double feature together.
Yeah.
Because like it's
100%.
not like there's a very different vibe to Pearl than there is to, this is more of a
Very
dirtier
different.
film, but Pearl is just like, it's almost like this like psychotic Wizard of Oz movie.
Yeah.
So I think the two pair really, really well together. And I enjoyed a lot of the slasher aspects when I first watched X. And, I put it in the bag. I put it on my list this year because I wanted to start watching some of my favorite recent films. And not to spoil anything, but this is one of my favorite recent films.
There you go.
So that's why it ended on the podcast. And I was like, I want to talk about like amazing movies. So, yeah, that was it. You ready to get into it?
Ready.
All right, so next up is Feasting Fiends. And this is where we get into our topics of pros, cons, characters, dialogues, and then our favorite kills / scares. So, Shelly, take it off with
I was
the
going to say,
pros.
do you want to kick it off? It's
Sure.
your movie.
Gladly.
It's your movie.
Okay, so bear with me. Like I was saying, I love this movie. I could have a laundry list of things, but I did kind of trim it back a little bit because no one wants to sit here for 5 hours. But so one of my main pros was I love our unconventional killers. I love a different type of killer in a slasher where they don't rely on their brute force to overpower and kill people. So with Pearl and Howard, they were only able to like gain the upper hand because their victims' guards were down, or they're in the process of like helping them, or like Wayne, he had that gnarly foot wound. So anytime you have these killers that are running around and having to essentially set traps for people, I like it. So I really enjoy that cat and mouse aspect of this film. Secondly, camera work. A lot of fun camera tricks and editing in this film. For example, it starts off with that cool like fake out like 4:3 aspect ratio shot or whatever it is. And then it starts to move. We realize that it's the barn doors that are creating the edges. And then we see the cop cars and we realize like, oh shit, this is a crime scene. So I also enjoyed later in the movie, they did like this split screen cuts where they show Pearl and the film crew and like they're going through these moments that are, one way or another, like mirroring each other. So I love the attention to detail, and I love the care that was put into the cinematography. So fantastic camera work. And then lastly, I'll say it's such a layered movie. On the surface, we get this slasher flick with a ton of gore and all this fun stuff. But at the core of this movie is like a war of youth against like time past. You have Pearl and Maxine, who are essentially the same character, and it like right down to Mia Goth playing both of them. So, they're just at different parts of their life's journey. And Pearl is seeing all this promise in Maxine that she saw in herself when she was younger. And, she's desperately trying to relive or recapture those moments. So I love that duality between those characters and a lot of parts of this movie. So layered movie, fantastic. So yeah, those are my pros.
Yeah, that was the one. That would be. I don't know if that's it's not a con. It's not a con. But I think because the movie Pearl existed, I caught on to the fact of the old lady being Pearl very early on in the film.
Oh yeah.
And I looked at Sherry. I was like, Mia Goth's playing both, isn't she? And I didn't even look at IMDb. I'm like, that's Pearl and Mia's playing both. Yeah. And Sherry looked at me and she kind of smiled. She was like, yeah. I was like, I think only because the existence of the movie Pearl that I caught on to that, but it didn't ruin it for me. That's why I wouldn't like say that's a con, but on the point of Mia playing both kind of
exactly.
thing. So.
Yeah.
All right, my pros.
Your pros.
I'm ready.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I as well love how it's shot. The like 8mm look of it at times. And there's this whole scene where Brittany Snow, who I love from Pitch Perfect, who plays Bobby Lynn, sings is that Landslide by Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah.
And they kind of do this split screen thing with everybody just like chilling in the cabin, but then like Pearl and Howard back in the house, and that's where you really get that like reflection. But I like that shot choice, and just like the cinematography in general, and how the overall widescreen shots, and it was done very well.
Yeah.
And to that point, I really like the soundtrack.
Yes.
So lots of good music from the 70s in there. I love the soundtrack. Even like I would beg to differ the sound editing, because even in the beginning, there's these like crickets.
Oh, the cicadas in the
beginning. Like cicadas, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like something outside my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, that's the TV. So you feel like they like kind of put you right into it from
Yeah.
the get go. So I really did like that. And then I'm gonna give a nod to the makeup. Even though I
Yes.
caught on to the Pearl thing, just character wise, I thought they did a really good job of Pearl's makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between Mia and Pearl, not Mia, Maxine and Pearl was very, very widespread. But even like the practical effects, the rolling over of the head and, you know, the nail in the foot. I think the makeup was very well done. So that was my last pro I'll throw in there.
Yeah, I agree. Like the prosthetics, the works that Weta Workshop did, just amazing. I even think how they shot it was perfect too, because initially, like, it's kind of dark and we, you know, it's not giving us to them in like the spotlight where we can see maybe the imperfections. And actually in that one scene where Pearl's watching Maxine film her section of the porn video and then she visualizes herself like in that scene, like that's a bright shot, but even then, like, it looks really, really good. So the craftsmanship, the craftsmanship. Yeah, but the craftsmanship on that was just, unmatched. Really, really well done. And let's move on to cons. You want me to jump on cons?
Yeah,
too?
you can. Yeah.
So this is let me just jump into it. So, so I know a lot of people love this part, and I love parts of it too. But it's the Fleetwood Mac landslide scene.
You didn't like it?
So here's the thing. I enjoyed Bobby Lynn singing it, and it's an amazing song. I love the song, but I wish we would have had like a smoother way to insert that moment. Like, I feel like it just kind of came out of nowhere, and Jackson just randomly grabbed a guitar and started plucking away. And we get
he had the guitar the whole scene. I
didn't see it before that. I was like, oh, he plays guitar, and he's just plucking like one of the most intricate
songs. On the couch
songs
with a guitar.
Oh, through that. Okay,
through the whole scene. So like, it wasn't like he was just like, here, I have a guitar now.
Boop.
Yeah, no, he had it through
you
the
were just
whole
like,
scene.
you ready? And then here's a guitar.
Yeah, well, maybe they just planned.
Yeah,
I'll beg to differ. I'll fight for that scene.
that's fine. But it did create this weird like kumbaya moment with all of them after they were talking about like.
But you have to have it.
Yes.
Because it breaks the tension before what happens after the song.
And that's exactly, I was gonna get to that because I was like, even though it was weird and it stuck out like a sore thumb, like it totally served a purpose. Because
I feel
after
like did you grasp at straws for your cons because you like the movie that much?
I did.
I think that's what you're doing here.
My only qualm is that this stuck out like a sore thumb because I did like right after that is when Lorraine drops the bomb that, I want to film my scene. So going from that landslide, like happy musical moment and seeing those shots of Pearl, like getting ready for bed or whatever she was doing, you know, Lorraine just drops the bomb on them all. So I was like, oh, that's funny. But yeah, that's what my grasping at straws found. So what about you? What do you have?
That was your only con?
Yeah, that was it.
You literally, you could have just said no cons.
No, I know.
That scene's not that bad. I love that scene.
But I wish the transition was something else other than like you guys ready. So I wish maybe, I don't know how to do it.
He's a porn star. Like, what do you want from him?
He's very, apparently he's good with other things other
like
than,
artistic.
Yeah.
No.
He's got many skills.
Well, I have some more cons.
Okay, great.
All right. So I think they tried a little too hard. And it's funny that you brought up the Texas Chainsaw thing. I think they tried maybe a little too hard to be like a Texas Chainsaw House of a Thousand Corpses kind of feeling. Maybe it was done in a tribute manner, but I feel like they had their own thing going. And some of it, like the body in the basement, nude body hanging, I don't think they needed that. I mean, I think you had the kill as it was. I think by putting it in the basement, you're turning Pearl and Howard into something else. And I don't think that's what they are.
Okay.
Yeah, are they killers? And we learn more that Pearl is absolutely a murderer. But
it's not her first time.
I just think by keeping the body, it made it more like, oh, look, we're kind of like a new Texas Chainsaw. I don't know. I feel like they didn't need to do that.
I felt like with that body in the basement, it was like her sex toy because Howard was unable. But that's how I read it.
Tell me how that old lady had sex with that hung up body.
I don't know. She was rubbing up on a lot of different people and things. She was horned out.
Anyway.
Oh, by the way, I told Ian you're not listening to this episode.
Oh, God.
So speak freely, please.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I actually thought this is probably people, this is controversial. I don't think they needed the sex.
Oh, all right.
They could be out there shooting a porn movie, and I felt like the sex scenes didn't add anything. Like, we already know these are like degenerate people making porns. So maybe one, but it turned into two, into three.
We saw all the scenes, yeah.
There was a lot of sex scenes.
Yeah.
And I just think the writing was good enough for the story going like, as I'm going to say these words correctly. It's a trilogy. This is your second movie in a trilogy, which is typically a bridge movie, and they released it first. But even though it was a bridge movie, its script was strong enough to hold its own. You could have released X and never released any of those other movies, and it still would stand alone.
Yes.
So I don't think they needed all the hubba-bubba-blue of all the sex scenes to get the same effect if they maybe didn't have like the last sex scene with Lorraine allude to that it happened. They don't, you don't have to show it. And even like the guy in the shower, like a 2-minute scene of him like naked in the shower. I was like, you don't need that either. We get it, dude. You're dead inside now. Like, you could have just gotten upset and left.
Yeah. Well, we even got a beautiful Pearl and Howard scene.
Yeah, that too. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like I don't know. They were just like having sex.
Do you think it was just like a shock ploy for this movie? The sex, the gratuitous, I guess you would call sex, and it wasn't necessary. The shock wasn't necessary.
I think if that's your plot of your movie, you needed some of it, but I think they didn't need all of it. I think their movie would have had the same result. I mean, you can show the two old people having sex without showing it, like his ass, like a above head shot, like I don't know. And even like I said, the Lorraine sex scene, like yeah, I just, because of the theme of the movie, yes. Did they need some sex in it? Maybe. Yes, absolutely. I just think they could have cut out some and still been just as good. I'd be just as fine without more sex. But, well, I mean, like watching more sex.
Yeah,
is what I mean.
Yeah,
but. And my last con, the ending.
The ending.
I kind of wasn't a huge fan of them wrapping it up with the cops at the house. And I'm not far into Maxine, but I know they're touching on more of the evangelistic Christian stuff and how Maxine is tied to that. However, I think I would have been okay with just her driving away in the truck, and knowing that there's a third movie.
Okay, but no show. No, like it was a deliberate. Spoiler alert. It was a deliberate show at the end where the televangelist was just like, "This is my daughter." Yeah. So you didn't like that.
I think maybe it's because I started Maxine. I don't know. I think that they were going to do that in Maxine regardless. So, like, did you need to go back to the cops at the house just to show that?
Yeah, maybe it was a little too on the nose. Yeah. Unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair.
I think it's better not to know too much about Maxine at this point.
Leave a little bit more of a mystery going into the next.
Because that's what we're going to learn about in the third one.
And then it would make sense that we saw all this stuff. Because right now we're like, all right, so this guy was just like talking about all this religious scripture stuff. And I see that.
Yeah, I mean, and we knew, like, as soon as X came out, A24 is like, there's 2 more movies. Like, it wasn't like they kept that a secret.
Yeah, I mean, Pearl came out, it was like 2 months after this.
Shortly after,
and then, you know, as one of my fun facts, it was filmed like right after this. So.
Yeah, I mean, they had the set. They might as well.
They had Mia Goth ready to go.
Yeah, she's river and ready. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving us content for the cons, because I had nothing.
I got you.
I appreciate it. All right, so let's move on into characters. What do you have for characters?
Yeah, obviously, I actually liked Pearl more than Maxine. If I had to pick one of Mia Goth's characters, and I liked Howard. He was perfectly creepy and gross, and
he was a perfect guy to kind of just like steer the ship.
Yeah,
of, pornographic artists.
After watching Pearl now, I'm like, so how did they get from how they ended Pearl to here? Was Howard just like, okay, you killed your family? Spoiler, we're talking about Pearl too, sorry. You killed your mom and dad. Yeah. I guess I'm staying with you forever. I don't know. They clearly did.
That's why I'm like, there could be a whole string, and I don't know if I want it to happen, but there could be a whole string of Pearl movies to see where she goes from at the end of Pearl to where we got her in X. But I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
I love Pearl, and I think she just needs to stay what we were getting.
I was okay with how it ended, but a part of me was like, how did that conversation go?
I know. That's true.
Yeah, I killed my parents. Do you still love me? You want to cover it up with me? We'll feed them to the gators.
Look at all these songs
just
and
like
dances
your sister.
I can do. Yeah.
So sorry, spoilers for everything.
Spoilers
all
for
three
everything.
movies.
Yeah.
Except Maxine, because I'm not done. Don't spoil that.
No, I won't.
And for disliked actors or characters, the director.
Okay. RJ.
RJ.
I was the same.
I'm making art. You're making a fucking porn.
Yeah.
You're making a porn.
I think he was trying to insert some like higher brow thing than what he was actually doing. Like that scene at the gas station was hilarious. He was talking about like making an artistic film and hitting it from strange angles. And then who was it?
Bobby Lynn.
Bobby Lynn. She's like, well, if you stand up and you shoot it from angle down, it looks like he's holding his cock. And I was like, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, RJ.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I agree, RJ. RJ was, I just, hypocritical. Obviously, he had a double standard. When he was talking about calling her a prude, he was calling Lorraine a prude in the car, and then she threw it right back in his face.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And it's like we already we didn't need another antagonist, I guess. Like, if you wanted to give him, like, a character arc.
Yeah.
I mean, he kicked off the fun as far as the killing goes.
That's true.
And it gave it a reason for him to leave.
And we can get into kills, but what a great kill.
Yeah, not a bad kill at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't like him overall.
Actually, one of the pros of this movie, besides RJ, like all the characters, like I feel like they were fully formed characters. Like in a lot of slashers, you just get these like surface level people, but I feel like we got enough with all of them that
you saw half of them have sex. So
exactly, we saw a lot of all of them. Exactly.
How can you not have well developed characters?
So with
your favorite,
my favorite was actually Bobby Lynn. She had a ton of enjoyable dialogue. I thought
so contradictory.
How?
I hate how they just started singing, but I love Bobby Lynn.
I didn't like the transition. I even said that I loved her singing. And it makes perfect sense that Brittany Snow is singing. I mean, she's got a list of movies.
Lovely voice.
Lovely voice, and a Tampa native.
Oh.
So
I
representing
knew
the Sunshine State with some gusto, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what adjective I wanted to use for her.
Bobby Lynn.
But yeah, I enjoyed her bubbly personality, and I wish that if The Farmer's Daughters would have been fully made and released out, I hope she would have got a cinematography credit for that camera scene. For a little bit of extra in her IMDb would have been nice for Bobby Lynn.
I don't think RJ would have done that.
No, he's
selfish.
Too
cocky.
Yeah, and then my least favorite character was RJ, just for the reasons we talked. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the characters. Moving on, let's go to dialogue. What do you got for dialogue?
Yeah, I have a great scene between Bobby Lynn and Pearl.
Beautiful.
It's during the chaos of the night. Bobby Lynn gets up because Maxine woke to Pearl in her bed with her.
Yeah.
And so Bobby Lynn discovers her man's not there, so she's going to go look for her man's. And as she's looking for her man's, she sees Pearl standing by the lake, naked. And so Bobby Lynn goes, believe it or not, I even thought about becoming a nurse one day. So, okay, why don't you come with... slaps her. And Bobby Lynn goes, what the hell did you do that for? And Pearl goes, I don't need a nurse. That's how Pearl talks.
She does talk
I
like
don't
that.
need a nurse. Why should you get to have it all? What have you ever done except to be a whore? And Bobby Lynn goes, okay, you know what? You don't want my help. No problem. I was just trying to be nice. And Pearl goes, you don't deserve to just be able to flaunt it in my face like you do. And Bobby Lynn goes, it ain't my fault you didn't live the life you wanted. Now move out of the way, please. Move, you mean old ugly bitch. And then Pearl shoves her into the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'm just going to spoiler. Favorite kill of the movie.
Yeah, great.
Alligator eats her.
Beautiful.
And Pearl, before the alligator even starts chomping, Pearl just goes, bitch.
Yeah.
Just like very bitch.
Yep.
And then Howard walks up and goes, was that? Well, I don't know how Howard talks. I don't have.
Go for it.
Was that the one? And Pearl goes, you know, I don't like blondes. Which is a throwback to the movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, it's a call out to the movie Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Because it comes from the movie Pearl. So I actually really liked it because of that too. And that's what a great
Pearl universe with dialogue, just, you know, calling back to all kinds of things. So
things that we didn't know was going to call back to.
Yeah, and then when you watch it and then you rewatch the other ones, you're like, oh, there it is again. Like I said, great double feature if you want to watch. And I would watch X and then Pearl.
I know. I suggest
you go the other way?
Pearl the next.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does better that way. But I haven't done it yet. But just by watching both of them now, I think you would get more out of X by knowing what's in Pearl.
Okay. I'll try it next time.
Just my thoughts.
Okay, good. All right, so for my dialogue, this was an interaction between Wayne and RJ after the first shooting of Jackson and Bobby Lynn's adult scene. And Wayne says, now, I may not know shit from Shinola when it comes to filmmaking, but I know for damn sure people are going to want to watch what I just saw in there. And RJ says, well, that's because I'm not treating it like pornography, but as cinema. That's what these other adult films are lacking. And Wayne says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. People's eyes are going to pop out of their damn skulls when they see this. We're going to be rich. And then Wayne grabs RJ's hand, places it on his private, and says, feel how hard my cock is. Is that your favorite part?
I mean, that's the
it is.
Part, yeah.
It's great. I love that because all the kills in this movie, there was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
In either the dialogue or the mural with Bobby Lynn when she walked out of the strip club. Like, I love all that attention to detail, and I love that line, people's eyes are going to pop out of their damn skulls. A lot of fun with the dialogue. We could go on forever. At least I could.
Yeah, well, and the cow getting smushed, just like Pearl gets smushed. Yeah,
exactly. The wheel mushes it over. Yeah. I know.
Lots of foreshadowing.
All right, so let's move on into favorite kills / scares.
So yeah, mine was the alligator.
Yes.
We saw that alligator earlier in the movie when Maxine went for a dip in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know they would bring it back.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, all the kills were a surprise to me.
Yeah.
It was the first watch. But the fact that they went back to the gator, and then even knowing that gator was in Pearl too. That gator is old, man.
I know.
That gator is a dinosaur. But yeah, so I really do like the gator. Not that like gators would actually do that. They don't kill like that. It's very unrealistic. I thought it was a cool way to kill someone in a horror movie that we may not see in a slasher type movie like this is. You know, you see it in those movies that are meant like Crawl or stuff like that. It is based on the animal being a killer.
They're a main feature.
Yeah, but like using the animal as a killer in a movie like this, I thought was a really good twist. So.
And to speak on that, when we're introduced to the gator, that shot on a cinematography again, that shot is amazing from way up high, and you see Pearl swimming back to the dock. Not Pearl, you see Maxine swimming back to the dock, and you're just waiting for it to get, and it gets so close, and then they hit action. She jumps out of the pool, and it's off to make adult films.
It's so unrealistic though, because gators do not swim on the top like that. They swim at the bottom. And they would not kill their prey like that. But anyways, I still appreciate it.
Yeah. It was a moment that was a kill / scare.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of those in here. So my favorite kill was RJ's. It was so brutal, kicked off all the fun, but he basically gets decapitated by Pearl. And the shot was cool with the red lighting from all the blood that was spraying on the headlights. And it finished with Pearl doing that like weird dance, which we will see why she had a little throwback moment where she did the dance, but that was definitely my favorite kill. I do have to say the lamest kill was Jackson, who just got a gunshot to the chest that we didn't even see and happened off camera. So I was a little sad about that we didn't get to see more with him. But another gunshot kill that was awesome was when Lorraine was running out of the house, because that straight up. That caught me off guard, and that was a jump scare for me.
Yeah.
So, tons of great kills in this. I mean, You get Wayne with the pitchfork to the eye. I mean, who's looking out strange holes in a barn just who's waiting for stuff like that. So
who does that?
Yeah, tons of great kills in this. We talked about the foreshadowing throughout the film to the kills. So it just if you're going into a slasher and you're wanting some different kills and a lot of kills, I think X delivers. So
yeah.
Awesome. Are you ready to get into Final Cut? And this is where I tell the ending of the film and we discuss and give our ratings of 1 to 5 stabs. 1 stab, no redeeming value. 2 stabs, bad. 3 stabs, mediocre. 4 stabs, good. 5 stabs, masterpiece. In Pearl and Howard's house, Lorraine breaks through the basement door with a hatchet, but Howard breaks her fingers. Bobby Lynn finds Pearl on the lake's edge and tries to help her. Pearl insults Bobby Lynn and pushes her into the water, where an alligator kills her. Pearl and Howard reunite and enter the guest house where they have sex. Maxine, hiding underneath the bed, escapes to the van and arms herself with a pistol. She frees Lorraine, who runs out the front door, only to be shot by Howard. As the couple moves her body inside the house, Lorraine's corpse twitches, startling Howard and causing him to have a fatal heart attack. Maxine retrieves the keys from Howard's truck and attempts to shoot Pearl, but the pistol is not loaded. Pearl shoots at Maxine with Howard's shotgun, but the recoil knocks her back into the porch, breaking her hip. As Maxine gets into Howard's truck, Pearl berates her and insults her. Maxine reverses the truck, crushing Pearl's head before driving away. It is revealed that Maxine is the daughter of the televangelist we frequently heard throughout the film. The police show up and discover RJ's camera, with the sheriff speculating that it contains footage of one goddamn fucked up horror picture. The end. So I know we sort of already touched on it already about the ending. And initially, before we had our conversation, I totally see your point about maybe not giving so much. I did enjoy the reveal, and I was like, oh, now it makes sense why we've been seeing that guy so much. But I think there's also something to say about leaving things a little bit more open-ended and not so closed, and especially when you like you said, you're making another film.
Yeah.
So maybe we answer those questions later. So
I don't know if it added to it. I think you could have had the evangelist stuff playing, just showing what kind of town they're in and whatnot.
Yeah.
And saving that, imagine the shock.
I know.
You go into Maxine and then you're like, oh, she's been a part of this all along. So
how she's connected with this,
save a little bit.
Yeah.
Just save a little.
That's a great point. So, are you ready to stab it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You want me to go? You want to go?
I can go.
Go for it.
Had some great kills. Great acting. No qualms there. Beautifully shot. It is different-ish. Like I said, I didn't want them to rest so much on the Texas Chainsaw morals. I think they had their own good thing going, and I think they could have done it with, a little less.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. Although I did doze off a couple times, but I did watch it a second time today. I'm just exhausted lately.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't count that for it, but I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I don't know if it's gonna be a contender for me at the end of the season, but we'll see how well it does. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Pearl more. And I think you should watch Pearl then next.
Okay.
That's my suggestion. But yeah, I'm
like
gonna give it a 4.
That's a great suggestion. Everything about this movie for me is bulletproof. Cast, story, cinematography, soundtrack, like you said, amazing, awesome gore in it. For me, it is a 5 stabber. This year is crazy. I've given so many 5 stabs. I'd have to go back and look at our stats, but yeah, this is another one to add to the pile of 5 stabs. So yeah, that's where I landed. Let's move on into our next segment, Voices from Beyond. And this is where we will share your thoughts on the movie that you gave to us off of social media. So, Shelly, take it away.
Yeah, so first to kick it off, I got Quinlan D, who said one of my favorite horror movies of the last decades.
Ooh.
Or decade. We're not that old. Roger R said X is good. If you liked X, then check out Pearl, then Maxine. You won't be disappointed like Derek was after viewing Shaun of the Dead.
Why is he going to bring up the past?
I just think you were wrong. And sometimes that happens.
There's no right or wrong.
Anyways, continuing. Matt F. said, another winner from the wheel. During boring times at work, I try and think of different slasher scenarios. And the one in this movie was a fresh look at the genre. Love A24 and camera shots. The ones that have stuck with me is the rooster in the parking of the gas mart and also the damn nail in the barn. The latter being personal because as a kiddo at my cousin's farm, I jumped off a bale of hay, felt something wrong with my foot, and looked down to see a nail sticking out through the top of my tennis shoe.
Ooh.
So when this shot came up, I clearly had a moment of cringe. Some real decent kills, but while I really enjoyed this movie at times, I found it slow moving. Now that I'm getting long here, gotta say that all in my opinion, the acting was amazing.
Nice.
And then Ray on Instagram said, this one is my favorite out of the three. Gave me Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the old house and land. My city got a shout out in the beginning, Houston, Texas. Great acting from everyone, especially Martin Henderson from The Ring and Virgin River. Great creepy undertones and great kill scenes all throughout the movie. 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
That's all I had.
That's it?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for those voices from beyond.
Unless did you have other ones?
No,
did you share it? All right, cool.
All right, let's move on into loose ends. And this is where we have any last thoughts or fun facts we share in the movie. So I got some fun facts if you're ready for me to jump in, and I'm going to do that right now. All right, so the day after X's South by Southwest premiere, writer-director Ty West revealed that during a mandatory 2-week COVID-19 quarantine in his New Zealand hotel before production could begin on this film, he wrote a prequel to this, Pearl. So A24 saw the script, greenlit the movie, even before production on X had wrapped. So he asked Mia Goth if she wished to remain in New Zealand and film Pearl, and she readily accepted, and the prequel came out later that year. So that's just a little...
It's a girl.
Yay. That's just a little... that's just a little background on how Pearl came to be. So next up, the name of the gas station at the beginning of the film is a direct reference to Ty West's movie Innkeepers, which was set at the Yankee Peddler, and the gas station was named The Peddler. There we go. Throwback to a movie we covered. All right, so it took up to 6 hours to put Mia Goth in full makeup, including 30 individual prosthetic pieces, to become the character Pearl, who is about 4 times Maxine's age. So that's a lot of hours to sit.
Well, it's a full body.
Yeah.
At times.
And I wonder...
6 hours seems short for a full body prosthetic.
How far have you gotten into Maxine?
Probably 20-ish, 30 minutes. I saw the prosthetic scene.
Okay, so I was curious.
If that's what you're going for.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw that.
Where she starts having like little flashbacks to Pearl being in the bed with her.
Exactly.
And then in the current scene, some hands touch her and she falls backwards and freaks out.
Yeah. What a great scene.
And I think I turned it off at they found the 2 girls in the graveyard.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's about 20, 30 minutes in. Okay, cool.
Which all these movies are like hour 40. It's like such a sweet spot.
I know. It really is.
It's not too long. I was able to watch 2 movies today at work.
Nice.
Which is decent.
That's nice.
Yeah.
There are those movies that are longer that are like, all right, you found a way to keep this going, but more often than not, like even if it's a great movie, you'll lose my interest for a little bit.
By the way,
that 140 is like right on.
For anyone maybe thinking this, I am working at the same time. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not just watching movies at work.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
It's
like listening to an audiobook.
Yeah.
Okay?
Some people,
Don't ask questions.
Some people like white noise. Some people like to watch,
And I just put my phone down.
Old ladies murder
scenes.
people while they're working.
I just put my phone flat-faced or fast-forward during certain scenes.
This is not work appropriate.
No.
Yeah. One last fun fact I will share is that when filming the scene of her iconic scream in the basement, Jenna Ortega was hung over after going on a bar crawl the night before with castmate Kid Cudi, which actually, like, that is one of my favorite, like, horror screams. That moment in the basement, just like her facial reaction, and it's just so guttural, and it's a terrifying moment. So Jenna Ortega, scream queen for this movie, anyways.
Yeah, I don't really like Jenna Ortega. Unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion?
She just always looks real mad.
She's got resting mad face.
Yeah. I don't like
Fair.
it.
Nice. All right, so let's move on to Wheel of Death. And this is where we will first replace X on the wheel.
I'm tangling myself up over here.
Getting all wrapped up in the
I'm
cords.
getting all wrapped up. Okay. Oh, it's very, very empty.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting very close. So I'm opening up the app and I'm unsilencing it so I can find X. It's going to take me a while to delete X off this list, so give me a hot minute. Ooh, we have a replacement for X, and Shelly made ghost noises, so let's see. Ooh, let's see what it is.
We have a fan pick, a viewer pick, a listener pick.
Listener pick.
Lisa C's pick.
Ooh.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. And that is the remake, 1990. It's the Tom Savini one.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so we've okayed it and saved it. We're going to list off the 10 movies before I spin this wheel. So the 10 movies are Exorcist Believer, 31, Dashcam, The Wailing, Ringu, Pieces, Triangle, The Shining, Night of the Living Dead, just added, and Dead Snow. You
All right,
ready?
Ready.
Ready for this?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Is this our last movie of the season?
No.
Okay.
This is like, This is our 16th, so we have 4 more.
Okay.
Yes.
Plenty of time.
We got plenty of time. All right, so let's go to the wheel, and you ready?
Ready.
To do the chant. I turned it down. Now I'm turning it back up. Wheel
of death. Wheel of death. Wheel of death. Wheel of death.
We have Triangle.
Yeah!
Finally. It's happening.
I'm so excited.
I know. So we are watching Triangle, which Shelly is going to be
I think
looking
I
up.
put that. This 2 seasons.
This is a Shelly pick. 2 seasons in a row, I think.
I've been trying to get Triangle.
Triangle forever. Finally.
Not
I know.
to be confused with Triangle of Sadness. Different movie. This
Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, that was an Oscar movie.
Okay.
This is 2010's Triangle.
Yes.
And you can watch it on Prime, Peacock, Tubi.
Boom. Boom. Slam dunk.
Everywhere. Pluto.
Nice.
Sling, Plex.
I know when I was talking to Roger R. about the movies on our list, he was saying Triangle was great. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped for it.
So excited.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So plenty of places to watch it. Obviously, pay attention to our socials, and we'll share links and all that fun stuff.
No excuses. I want everyone to watch this movie.
So many.
I've been trying to get this movie watched.
Everyone watch it for Shelly.
Tuesday and just watch Triangle and give us your thoughts.
If you were to give us one Christmas present, it is to watch Triangle for us.
All I want for Christmas is Triangle. That's all I want.
All I want is Christmas
I just want little everybody to watch Triangle, please.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
You ready to close it out?
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. All right, so next episode drops January 1st. Don't miss out and tune into the end of the season where we'll be taking all the films we've watched and have them battle it out in our deathmatch tournament. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review if you like what we do. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok by searching Little Bracket of Horrors, and on Instagram by typing at Little Bracket of Horrors. We also have merch available at tpublic.com. Just search for our name in their website search bar or pay attention to our socials for a direct link. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Derek.
I'm Watch Triangle.
And Watch Triangle.
I'm Shelly.
And we will catch you on the other side.
Watch Triangle.
Uncut Jams. As soon as that door closes.
This is the same mic.
Yeah, it's the same mic. I just think I have it turned too far.
You want me sitting way over there?
No,
I
you can
always sit here.
You can sit wherever.
I don't want to sit way over there.
Take your corner.
I don't know. This is awkward.
Music by Tyler Bates and Chelsea Wolfe. Other credits include, for Tyler's John Wick Chapter 4, Deadpool 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then credits for Chelsea include Lone, Below Her Mouth, and Maxine. Is that a car outside?
Someone backing up? Like,
Let me go look.
yeah.
Interesting. Here we are.
You know, freaky sounds happening.
You know, this is what happens when you
Phantom
live in
noises.
a haunted neighborhood with a Buick dealership behind you.
Oh my god.